passengered Ken Napton at one time in 2003 at Cadwell.
Oh,
so,
right.
yeah, I think they got the 5th and a 6th or something like that.
Okay, I wonder why the in-depth knowledge of the Napton family was so ingrained within you. You started to sound like Richard there. Sidecar specialists of Family Trees United. Right, let's go here. The lights go out and away we go. Pretty even start for everybody. Everybody safely off the line. And I think it's going to be pretty much as they were going into Paddock Hill, though. Looks like Andy Peach is trying for an outside pass on Stevens there.
Tell you what, that was twitchy from Andy Peach and Josh Hope there in 3rd position. That sidecar, it didn't want to turn in. The rear was letting go, then it gripped and let go again. But they got it all under control now as they are in 3rd position. Head there, can't quite see from this distance as they all make their way around safely. And I tell you what, Keith, that outfit in 4th position at the moment, that looks to be the number 14, is it? No, 30 of Charlie Moss and Kirsty Horswell. As yeah, they're in 4th position. That's good stuff for the number 38 because they started on row number 4.
Okay, a little bit of a correction to the results yesterday as well, because I do know the presentation that Tom Kirby and Emma Salmon were called to the podium. They're like, well, no, we're not here to score points, we're just here to get track time. That's purely what some of these British runners are doing. I think the same is true of Andy Peach and Josh Hope as well. Certainly Ben Holland and Wayne Stevens, though, they are locked in a battle for 2nd in the championship with Will and Andy Smith as well. So that is the critical thing as far as they're concerned. And so the sidecar field a little bit thin today, certainly not the big field we had at the Sidecar Revival Festival, which I believe is happening again next year. Looking at the calendar with an August date scheduled for that event, which is always a fantastic meeting for sidecar fans and just race fans in general, really. It's a really good atmosphere at that meeting, isn't it, Bradley?
It really is. I mean, we get quite a lot of spectators there as well. He's out there on in the commentary box on the exit of Charlie's on the Sunday, and there's camper vans all the way to the right and camper vans all the way to the left, so it really is a bit of a fan favourite.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They appreciate the action, appreciate the efforts these guys put in. As I have to say, the main battle developing on the track there is the one between Will and Andy Smith, and Moss and Hoxwell there, and they come across the line separated by less than 0.2 of a second. Fastest team on the circuit, unsurprisingly, Tom Kirby and Emma Salmon. 51.684 is their first flying lap there. Got to be down into the 49, low 49s, and that's Barry James and Jack Tritton, and that was back in 2017.
Would that have been on a 1000cc?
Yeah, it would have been. That's what Barry used to race. I think, yeah, it's the proper F1, so yeah. But I will say, of course, the big herbs don't really count for too much around this particular circuit, do they? Because we see that with the particularly the rookie 600s and 1000s. And the outright lap record, well, to be fair, Danny Buchan on his the BSB Kawasaki, that's not really a fair comparison.
Paul Young on a Super Sport 600.
48, and again, that goes back, that's getting an old lap record as well, that's 15 years old.
He was, yeah, Australian rider, Paul Young.
He was indeed,
yes. That would have been on a full BSB spec Super Sport bike as well, Triumph Daytona.
Yeah.
The Smith's bike, I think it was, Smith's Daytona.
I think it was, yeah,
yeah.
Well remembered. I mean, you've been watching an awful lot of YouTube lately, haven't you?
I just have no life.
Maybe you should turn your attention and watch some classic films instead, Bradley. Pulp Fiction
I do need to watch those kind of films. Pulp Fiction looks good. I mean,
Pulp Fiction is an awesome film. It really is. It's you'll get a lot of cultural references from Pulp Fiction, which you'll go, yeah, I can see why this is very cool. This is very cool when it was released. And
it's 94 was that released?
Something
so
like
it's
that,
31 years. So
yeah, it's older than you, mate.
All right,
so, along with Terminator 2 as well. Come on,
no spoilers.
Yeah. Honestly, next time you're at my place, I'm gonna tie you to the chair. I'm gonna put a classic film on.
That's how rumours start.
All right, Barry, Tom Kirby and Emma Salmon continue to lead, continue to set fastest laps, still in the 51s though. Ben Holland and Wayne Stevens there in 2nd place. Will Smith, and Andy Smith have moved up into 3rd place. So that's a critical place as far as they're concerned, because that only puts them 4 points behind their main title rivals. The gap between those two, might be a little bit weird. The gap between those two in the championship was just 9 points coming into this round, so all to play for. Eddie Wakely and Ant Hilditch, they're not here this weekend. I'm a bit surprised actually, because they also were in contention, and they have actually done most of the meetings, in fact all of the meetings up until this one, so that's a great shame they're not here. Hopefully we'll see them out at our next meeting at Donington, of course. As far as the F2's points go, as we mentioned before, Greg Lambert with Andy Jeevens and Robin King have indeed taken the championship. Morfett, Ryder and Copper, they are currently running second, but they're not here this weekend either. So that's going to be good news for Hanks and Kirk, who are looking to pick up and close that 54-point gap down. And I have to say, the way they're riding at the moment, I think they've been on the podium pretty much every time, so that could move them into second. But Buchanan and Effens are also looking to move up as well. The team from just there, sponsored by the Bullion, which is their business down there. And they've been doing a bit of road racing as well. Been to the Isle of Man and the Manx and the like. As the leaders come across the line there, no change in the positions.
Fastest lap of the race to Ben Holland and Wayne Stevens, but they put in a 51.500, so they take the fastest lap of the race by 8 thousandths away from Paul Kirby and Emma Salmon. Of course, Paul Kirby, a former champion in the BMC Formula 1 Sidecar Championship 4 years ago, I think it was.
Something like that, yeah, well remembered.
With Tom Kirby, who he's not related to, despite the same last name.
Exactly, it's unusual, isn't it? Yep, normally we're used to seeing the families in the sidecars. You say Tom and Paul not related at all.
Andy Peach and Josh Hope are heading back out onto the circuit.
They did retire, but there we go, back on there. Just a quick tweak there, get it all track time.
Purple in sector number 1 for Paul Kirby and Emma Salmon on this lap, and they pulled out in 0.15 over Ben Holland and Wayne Stevens in that first sector. They're coming around Clearways and Clark Curve now, and again, they're tucked in tight as they come across the line. 51.5 exactly was the previous fastest, and it remains that, because that time around, Keith, it was Holland and Stevens who went quicker in sector number 2 to close that gap, and it's now 0.767 of a second.
Okay, and all good. Had to have a quick look over there. Okay,
I see what you mean.
7 laps into the race there. Yeah, they weren't able to turn that purple first sector into a better lap time. Having a quick look at the lap time, is 50.9 is the absolute top achievement I think you could do. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, 51.1 actually, I think. So we're very close to the perfect lap there, but we can see another purple there from Kirby and Salmon at sector 1. Again, it's a yellow at sector 2, still a 51-second lap though. I
think it's about time we mentioned the Greg Lambert Sidecar School up there at Teesside. We haven't mentioned it so far, but of course James Hanks and Jonathan Kirk, the 666 that are out there at the moment in the Formula 2s. That is the bright yellow and pink. And they're just heading around Druids now and down in towards Graham Hill Bend. They are, of course, graduates of that Greg Lambert Sidecar School. As, up there in Teesside, you can either learn to be a passenger or learn to be a driver, and it's it's an easier way to get into sidecar racing.
Well, I don't think it's an easy way to get into sidecar. Yeah, but it's certainly easier than suddenly buying an outfit yourself and saying, what on earth do I do with this? Because sidecar racing is very much a black art unto itself. They handle very strangely, and also the fact that the gear shift is on your right foot and the brake is on your left foot. And it's one of those things you get used to. I have actually ridden a British bike on old Enfield with the things that way round. You get used to it pretty quickly, but it's only when it goes wrong you suddenly find yourself stamping on the instinctive ways, which is slightly annoying, but there we go.
Have you driven a sidecar? I know you've been in the passenger seat.
I've been in the passenger. I've never driven a racing sidecar. Bill Philp gave me the opportunity a few years ago, quite a few years ago now, but unfortunately then when he sold the outfit before, I got a chance to jump behind the bars, which is slightly annoying. The only sidecar I've ridden is a Motor Guzzi off-road outfit.
Okay.
And that was while filming an advert, but that's a whole different story.
I didn't realise you was a TV star in the adverts.
Am I not showing you the videos? Oh God, I'll bore you with those another day, mate. Don't worry about it.
Can I have your autograph now or later?
Only if you can afford it. Right.
2 laps to go. We're starting the penultimate lap now, and it is Paul Kirby and Emma Salmon who put in another 51.7, and they pull out a further 0.3 on Ben Holland and Wayne Stevens on that lap. They're through Paddock Hill Bend, through the dip, and on the brakes now in towards Druids. So that means there's only around about 2 miles left in this race, Keith. So round Druids comes Paul Kirby and Emma Salmon. You can see Emma working hard in the passenger seat there, hard on the brakes into Graham Hill Bend, and just clipping the curve on the inside there, throws up the rear a little bit under power, but Ben Holland just having a look over his left shoulder. There is plenty of clear track behind him until we see Will and Andy Smith. 13.2 seconds between second and third, but Paul Kirby and Emma Salmon, looks like Ben Holland and Wayne Stevens, they're just rolling out of it at the moment now, Keith, because they've lost 0.9 of a second in that first split.
Yeah, I think they know they're on for another easy win. As you say, it is only track time. Tom Kirby came to us last night, had a quick chat with us because we did call him to the podium. He's like, no, I didn't win this race. Unfortunately, I have to go with what's written on the sheet of paper in front of me, but he was absolutely adamant that he's only here for track time. He's not here to take away any points from any of the club runners, so that's why it's critical for Ben Holland and Wayne Stevens there, because they will be picking up 25 points if they can keep this pace up, and quite frankly, there's no reason to think they can't, because they've got a very handy nearly 13-second advantage over Will and Andy Smith. However, that's still going to be 20 points in their bank account as well. Lambert and Javens and King, well, they're going to be long for another 25. Buchanan and Evans, though, look looking good for the 20-point finish in that particular race, and Hanks and Kirk are good for the third place in that. So that's all going to be affecting the championship. Certainly when we go to November, to Birmingham November, they'll want to be standing on a higher step on the podium, as Kirby and Salmon do indeed come across the line to say hello to the checkered flag. Ben Holland and Wayne Stevens are next across the line, and fair play. That's a good effort from them, just to be 3.5 seconds back after 12 laps. And there goes Smith and Smith to claim that all-important, what will be second place as far as the points go. And there's Moss and Boxwell next across the line in just a moment. Okay, that concludes the first of our 2 three-wheel races for the day. So that means we're going to move on to the Thunderbike Extremes and Ultras. Now, this is going to be one we're looking forward to, I think, Bradley, because we saw some fantastic action in the 2 races we had yesterday. The first race was a bit interesting because a load of people managed to miss their call to the collecting area, so no fewer than 8 bikes found themselves at the back of the grid lining up for the race. And I have to say, they get a little bit tardy there as well. They're lucky this isn't day